This time of year, market stands and grocers are filled with fresh fruits and vegetables. One of my favorites is watermelon because it's so sweet and so refreshing. I've got a great recipe here for you today. It's a layered watermelon dip. Now I've got the richness of avocados on the bottom and a guacamole. Then I've got some Greek yogurt and I've got some cream cheese whipped together in the middle. And we're gonna top it with a watermelon salsa. All of that together will be perfect for guests all summer long. It's a bite of freshness with a little creamy richness. The first thing I have to do is select the watermelon. And what I want to do is visually, I want to make sure it's got this creamy bottom side. So you'll notice as you spin it around, that tells you that it's been sun ripened in the field. The last thing you want to make sure is to just give it a quick rinse before you use it, and then it's time to cut it. So I'm going to get this salsa ready, and the first thing I have to do is get a fine dice of the watermelon. I'll start by slicing it in half. I start by slicing the watermelon this way because it's the perfect way to enjoy it. By selecting one of these, you can just see you can pull it out and it's perfectly ready to serve. But this also makes it very easy to make a nice dice. So I'll tuck that back in. And I want to remind you of something. Don't automatically throw out all of the rinds. So if I take out these outside rinds, I still have a little bit of that beautiful pink flesh, but I can drop those in. Now this is a canning process, and if you go back and check out one of my other videos, you'll see how to do this. But this, if you've never done it before, pickling watermelon is one of the most awesome things that you'll do with a leftover because it's great no matter if you're putting it on burgers or just using it as a side, it's great. So now to making this fine dice. So what I'll do is I'm literally just gonna I'll slice the rind off, and then I'll take those portions and I'll just slice them lengthwise once, and then once again, turn it sideways, and then make a beautiful little fine dice. What I want is I want something that's bite-sized, so you can see how beautiful that is. I love it, and the flavor, packed full of nutrition. With all this color, we've already got a great watermelon salsa rolling. Now I've got a jalapeno, and I love the flavor that this will bring. It'll bring some heat, but it's not too much. Now this is optional. I would put it in, if you want to dial down on the heat, just remove the seeds when you're cutting it up, and make sure to cut it up finely so that there's just little bites for your guests to enjoy. The last thing is just to add a little bit of this beautiful red onion. I'll slice a cheek of it off, and then to make a very fine dice again, making certain that there's not big bites of onion. And then the freshness is gonna come from the cilantro. So the cilantro has a beautiful fragrance, and it's a perfect match for this watermelon. Now with all of those ingredients in, there's one more thing that's going to love them, and that's a little bit of lime. We're going to use the juice and the zest. First thing I want to do is start by rolling that, and then I'll use a microplane to take the zest off. Then the coriander or fresh cilantro. That's going to go in, and it's going to brighten up all those flavors. We've got all elements of the palate rolling here. This is going to be the perfect bite of watermelon. if you've ever had watermelon and feta, and you know how great they go together, that little bit of sweetness with that little bit of tang, that's the same thing that I'm gonna do with this creamy filling. So I've got the richness of the cream cheese, which is great, but then I'm gonna add that Greek yogurt, and the two of them together are going to be both rich and tangy, and it's gonna be the perfect complement for this watermelon salsa. Now, if you like the way this watermelon recipe is shaping up, then go over to watermelon.org and check out that website for all kinds of amazing recipes. I've got some over there myself, and I know you're going to love it. The last step for this watermelon dip is to make an avocado guacamole. So these are nice, ripe avocados. I'm going to throw together a quick guacamole, and then I'll begin layering these up. With all three components of the watermelon dip ready to assemble, I can hardly wait to see these beautiful colors come together. Don't forget that watermelon is a great source of vitamins A, B, and C, and when the kids are playing out back, there's nothing like giving them a cold slice to cool them off, to rehydrate them, and to keep their energy going this summer. Listen, you're gonna love this watermelon recipe. I want you to try it. I know your guests are going to love it, and I'd love to see photographs of what you've done with it and what you've served it with. Think about this with fish as a side for chicken, but for today, we're gonna serve it with some lime tortilla chips. I think it's gonna be perfect.